we can provide the service to third-party controller, because in some scenario the client already has this like a Cisco, Rocos, Aruba controllers, and then we use the Sundray's controllers and some APs, but they need a unified authentication. So in this scenario, we can use our controller work as a portal server to have the unified authentications. So this is a forward to make the NAC here. I referred our controllers as the portal server to third-party controllers. So the main configuration is like this. In our controller, we need to configure this portal page URL and set up the URL parameters. These parameters is the same with these third-party controllers. And also we need to choose the portal protocols. There's lots of the portal protocols, how we can pop up this portal page, what is the triggers, how I do the response. So we need to choose the suitable protocols, and also we need to configure the authentication methods, like we do the authentication, what kind of authentication we use, the short message authentication, we use the guest account authentications, and also we need to configure the readers clients. For this readers clients, because we need to change the username and the password. So the username and the password can be created in our controller. So this account, our controller at that time can work as this client servers, and the third-party controller will work as the readers as the client. Our controller is readers server. So let's think this 3 examples that how we do the UMR controller work as a portal server, to Cisco controller, and to Aruba controller, to ROX controller. So first is this to the Cisco controllers. In the Cisco controllers, we need to, first step is to end a reader server. So because our controller is the server end, so first we need to end reader server in Cisco's controller. So it is in the authentication CSIP. You choose the IP address, code station ID type. So here you choose the IP address. After you choose the IP address, you input our IP address, our controller, and then share the secret. Share the secret. Share the secret is same with the password is our controller will be okay. So first step, and the reader server. Second, we allow the traffic of the wireless user to the portal servers. So this one is, we call it the configure pre-authentication access policy. I think this is easy to understand. If you want this Cisco's controller to when the users connect to this Cisco's AP, and they need pop up this portal page. So before they finish the authentication, pre-authentication, we need to allow the traffic to our servers, right? Because if you're not allowed, if Cisco's controller is not allow the traffic going to our controller, so how can do the authentication? How the portal page can be popped up? So we need to allow this portal page. Also, we need to allow this DNS, right? Because we learned in the SCWP that if you want the portal page be successfully pop up, first you need to have a DNS request. After you get the DNS response, you know the IP address of the certain website, and you have that HTTP or HTTPS request it will be redirected to our portal page. So DNS traffic should be allowed. So in here, in this access control list, here security, we need to end the new policies. These policies, we need to allow the IP address, our controller, and also the DNS. Last step is to end portal servers. Last step is to add portal servers in this Cisco controllers WLAN. WLAN here, you need to choose the layer 3 authentication. Layer 3 authentication. Layer 3 authentication, that we chose the web policy, right? Because layer 2 we said like WP2, personal or enterprise. This is the layer 2 authentication. Layer 2 authentication, that's if you don't have IP, if you haven't finished authentication, you don't have the IP address. So layer 2 authentication is more secure than layer 3. When we use the portal authentication, that means the layer 3 authentication. So we chose the layer 3 authentication, and the security, we chose the web policy. And then in the pre-authentication ACL, we already created that one. We use that ACL, and then we configure the URLs, and then also the we already configure the readers, right? Reader servers. So after that, it will already works. And here's the nodes. For these nodes, it's like for the Cisco's devices. For Cisco's devices, the redirection URL is the HTTPS. That is because the Cisco controller enable the web OSINT secure web by default. So ours our portal page is HTTP. So you need to disable this function, and then reboot the Cisco controllers, because the Cisco if this configuration for if you want this configuration of this web OSINT secure web, this function be disabled, you need to reboot the controller, reboot the Cisco controller. Okay, the bulk configuration is when we do the configuration with Cisco, the configuration on the Cisco controller. Next is the configuration in our controller. So in our controller, it's in the web authentication policies. Here you can end the client's name. This name is you can configure any. Just for example, Cisco controllers. After that, the protocol, here you chose the Cisco. Here you chose the Cisco's, and then the others, like you just choose the default is okay. The port is a 22, and for the admin and the password, here we need to know that the admin and the password is the Cisco controller's login username, and the password is the login password. So yeah, maybe you're. So here we need to pay attention to for this admin and the password. This is Cisco's controller's admin username and the password. And then last part is the URL, the URL parameters. This URL actually is generated automatically. We end this one, it will have this IP address. This IP address can be changed in the Capital Portal servers. We enable this one, you can configure the communication IP address of our controller. So after you configure this one, the IP address will appear in here. So this one just like configure generated automatically. And then for this URL parameters, URL parameters usually is we need to this configuration sometimes is like when we do the project is most it costs most of time, because this in these Cisco controllers, there's no scientist. We can check that what kind of the parameters we need when we do the photo authentications. It doesn't have this kind of a configuration, so we can how we can gather these parameters. We can use our laptop, connect to their photo page, just like the Cisco's. When the Cisco controllers work as the photo servers, we connect there and we see the parameters. In the parameter, what kind of these parameters they need, like the the terminal's MAC address, and the terminal's login time. So these parameters, if we need, we can, if this Cisco need, we can check in our controllers also. So after that, configure the photo servers, we also need configure the reader servers, because our controller is the reader server. So here we just end reader's client. Okay, next is the Aruba controllers. Let's check this, how we do the integration with the Aruba controllers. For the Aruba controller, first also same, we need to add reader servers. The reader server you can find in this authentication AA profile, and in the then is the XML API server. Here you can add a profile, and here you can input our controller's IP address and the shared keys. So here you add a reader server. And then is this you add the portal servers. In this portal servers is in the configuration, authentication, and here you add the one. It's also the layer 3 authentication. It's like in the way similar, with Cisco's. For the portal authentication, they call it the layer 3 authentications. So here we input the portal servers, and also the URL that generated by our controllers. And also we need to configure these pre-authentication access policies. These policies, the main reason is allow the controller's IP address and allow the DNS. And then is our controller's configuration. Our controller's configuration here, we just chose the Aruba. After we chose Aruba, here we have the shared password. So here's a shared password. And then is the reader servers. Reader server, we just input the reader's we input the Aruba controller's IP address and the shared key here. Yeah, for the Aruba authentication, we need to make sure this pre-authentication rules name is the same with our controllers. The rule name should be the same with our controller. After for example, this is the Wi-Fi setup for the guest. In this Aruba controller, after the user finish location, the authentication rule is the guest. So in our controller, our post authentication rule also should be the guest. This character should be same. Yeah. So for Sundray, we need to use the same rule. Last one is the root cause controller. For the root cause controller, the whole process is almost same. first we need to end the reader servers. The reader servers, it's in this AAA, proxy AAA, and then we create a new, and then we input the Sundray's controller's IP address and the port, the reader's port here. We only do the authentication, so the port is the 8020. Yeah, for this Ruckus controller here, you can test after you do this, after you configure the reader server. Here you can input the username and the password. Username and the password is the one account. You can create a username, the password in our controller. Then you can test in here if this integration of the reader's client and the server is correct. Sometimes you can do one step by one step. So we can, after we configure this reader server, we can check it. Then we end the Poto servers. In the Poto server, is configured in the hotspot. In the hotspot here, then we can hotspot WISPR. In here, you can end the URL, the Poto page URL in here. And also this configure the pre-authentication access policies. They call it the Ruckus call it the walled garden. So here you also need to allow the IP address of the Poto server, allow the IP address of DS, and also here is allow the IP address of the Ruckus controller. So that is the configuration of the Ruckus controller. Then we go to Sundray's controller. Here, the protocol we can choose the Ruckus. Here in petition for the Ruckus, our controller has the Ruckus 1.0 and 2.0. They have two protocols. This one in this in the project, when we do the project, we can use the Ruckus 1 first, because lots of these clients, when they change the Sundray, maybe the Ruckus already used it for the 3 or 4 years. So they usually see the Ruckus 1. I did several integration with Ruckus controller, all use the Ruckus 1. And if there has some new controllers, the new Ruckus controllers, they support the 2.0. So there's two protocol you can try when we do the integration. Next, end of the reader's client, just the IP address of this Ruckus controller. So that's above is a 3 example for we do the integration with other vendors. But the configuration may be a little bit different with the slides we have the project, because the GUI of the other vendors may be changed with a newer version. And here we just show this the integration with the Ruckus and the Aruba and Cisco. But actually the Sundray also support the Poto 2.0 integration. But this Poto 2.0, this protocol, because it's not supported by the vendors out of China, so we will not introduce it today. Okay, so the the whole process to do the integration with the external portal servers like that.